All right, how's everybody doing? Man, they were great, huh? I really enjoyed them. Can't wait till 6 months from now when they're back. This is awful. I apologize for this. I got to do something about this facial hair. This is really not becoming of me. The fact is, it just doesn't grow that well. This is really as good as it's going to get. This is seriously like 4 weeks of not shaving. Which reminds me, I wish I was better at math. I really do. I feel like I could have solved a lot of the world's problems by now if I'd been good at math. In fact, the biggest problem I could have solved would be my own unemployment, because my English degree is not really cutting it for us. You know, and I think it's really indicative of where we are as a culture. For example, I have a cousin who's really into tech stuff. I mean, he works for startups, you know, he's always on the internet. He can't go anywhere without his iPhone. And I'm willing to bet there's at least 1 or 2 people here, probably more, who are guilty of the same thing. I'll tell you, I was with him the other day. He's walking out to his car, and he gets to his car, realizes he forgot his iPhone. It's a really long ways back, and he goes, I don't need to go today, and just went back inside. That was the end of his day. He didn't want to make the trip twice. He couldn't go anywhere without the phone. The next day, almost the same thing happened. Got all the way to the car, realized he didn't have his keys. Instead he goes, I'll just walk. I've got green pigs to kill and temples that need running. And away he went. I mean, I don't understand the logic. It's actually kind of sad to me. And I'll give you another example. I have a much younger cousin, like very small. And I grew up in Massachusetts. And in the autumn, when the leaves were falling, this little guy's looking out the window and he goes, oh look, it's like a screensaver. Man, that made me feel old. And speaking of feeling old, I was at the grocery store this morning. I had a very strange situation come upon me. My grocery store is directly between 2 high schools, kind of up in the hills from here. And both high schools have open campus at lunchtime. And so the kids just descend on the high school, or descend on this grocery store. They all converge in Safeway, because apparently that's the hot spot for lunch when you're 14 in the hills. So they all come in, and I'm suddenly surrounded with high schoolers, which is really unnerving to someone who's not a high schooler. And I'm standing at that little cheese kiosk when I overhear some school children, these 2 young girls, and one says to the other, oh, he's really cute, you should ask him out. In my mind, they were probably talking about some bro on the lacrosse team with frosted hair. And the next thing I know, there's this tiny little wisp of a blonde girl just sidling up next to me at the cheese. And then loudly she exclaims, hey, what school do you go to? Again, my facial hair apparently doesn't grow well enough to differentiate me from a high schooler. And I turned to her and I said, I actually, I haven't attended a school in 6 years. And that was college. She looked at me really confused, like that just couldn't be the case. Okay? So I told her, no, seriously, I'm 28. The blank stare in her eyes told me she wasn't really connecting the dots here. So I decided I would put it in terms she might understand. And I looked at her and I said, I'm sorry, what grade are you in? And she says, oh, I'm a junior. And I go, so that would make you like what, like 16? And she says, yeah, real excited, like that's gonna change something here. And so I told her, okay, so you were born in like what, 1997? And again, yeah. So she's real excited that I'm connecting the dots. She's still clueless. And I had to ask her, okay, so you were born in 1997. Have you ever known a world without the internet? No, she hadn't. That made me feel old. So I had to tell her, okay, you know, the year you were born, I was in the 8th grade. In fact, the year you started kindergarten, I was a freshman in college. The blank stare continued, and I had to tell her, okay, when you were a freshman in high school, I was getting married. Seriously, I'm 28. I was born in 1984. She gives me one of these. You are 28. It's a really good thing she was there to confirm my age. So, you know, finally she had connected the dots, and excused herself, probably equally as embarrassed as dejected, I would assume. And as she's walking away, she suddenly stops. She turns and she looks back to me. And in my mind, being as conceited as I am, she's going to say, well, you know, you look really good, or well, my friends thought you were cute. Instead, she turns around and looks me dead in the eyes and goes, wow, you know, you're really good at math. I'd be lying to say that that didn't make my day as much as anything else she could have said. But it really was kind of upsetting for me that that was where she went with it. Anyhow, good at math or not, I believe I'm out of time. So I'm gonna head over to Target. I gotta get some shaving cream. But if you guys have enjoyed my set, you thought I was funny, you might want to run into me at another open mic, please, oh pretty please, take a business card from me. I have a Facebook, a Twitter, and there's a friend of mine that's also on that account. We do a comedy thing together. We also have a YouTube that is fantastic. We got loads of sketch comedy, and all our stand-up goes on there. We have video vlogs that are hopefully of interest. Anyhow, you guys have been great. Thank you.